What if, with each simple sip of your morning coffee, you could be contributing to sustainable economic growth in the developing world? What if you could be providing opportunities for families and communities who for years have been caught in the cycle of poverty? What if, with each sip, you could be actively pouring out life and hope for some of the world's most needy people? Cup of Compassion Coffee is a product that advances these worthy aims. The brand, created by Compassion Corps, launched its first product in May 2013, a medium dark roast specialty Liberian coffee blend appropriately named Justice Java because it aims at empowering smallholder farmers to rebuild with dignity after years of civil war. With access to the high demand and fair prices of the U.S. coffee market, Liberian farmers are encouraged to grow, harvest, and process their beans once again. In fact, the organization is trusting that this new Cup of Compassion social enterprise will help to completely revive the entire Liberian coffee market. But the story of the rise of any market is truly the story of those individuals whose effort produces the raw material that starts it all. Meet Sivili Borle, a farmer who lives with his family in the Kaloum area in Lofa County, Liberia. Decades ago, his ancestors invested in a small plot of land and started growing coffee beans. For years, Sivili, his wife, and their 11 children were proud to continue to manage their family's farm. This was a reasonably profitable venture for them since they were easily able to get their product to market and participate in what used to be a thriving export business. But years of civil war destroyed their country, temporarily displaced their family, and brought a screeching halt to industry of any kind, especially exports. Now, years after the long, drawn-out war has finally ended, the coffee industry is still in shambles. Sivili and his family were eventually able to return to their home and reclaim their land, but most of it still sits unproductive season after season. His farm is still fully capable of producing an abundant coffee crop, but there is little demand for it within Liberia, and the broken infrastructure of the country does not easily lend itself to establishing trade. In fact, even if this farmer were able to find a buyer for his product, he would be unable to physically transport his coffee to a location where he could get a fair price. That's where Compassion Corps has been able to help. The organization has contracted with numerous Liberian farmers like Sivili, whose stories are very similar. By offering to buy beans at a fair price, Compassion Corps is making it possible for eager men and women to get their coffee farms productive again, create a sustainable income for themselves and their families, and rebuild their lives and communities with dignity. It is a beautiful sight to see families working together again on their farms to harvest and process their coffee crop. There is the gathering to do, then the drying stage, followed by the pounding to remove the husks, and the fanning to remove the chaff. And finally, the sorting and bagging is done to prepare the product for export. Bags are weighed, and Compassion Corps' trusted field agents are there to pay the farmers a good price for their product and get it to the port for shipment. As this enterprise grows and develops, Compassion Corps will also support the establishment of cooperatives to allow farmers to share tools and even a community mill. This will lighten the load for laborers, especially women who are currently processing the coffee completely by hand. It will also foster pride and loyalty in a soon-to-be competitive local market. And this is the sweetener in each sip of Compassion Coffee, that when a farmer gets paid, he or she is able to take better care of the whole family, afford school fees and medical care for the children, and become a more active participant in the community. When they hire help and purchase equipment, farmers with Compassion Corps contracts are able to invest back into their local economies. At the same time, Compassion Corps is also able to count on a steady source of revenue from the sale of the coffee. And with new sustainable income comes new possibilities for growth. As the organization provides more resources for its African partners and hires more staff on the home front, doors are opening to expand the impact of its work in Africa. The Cup of Compassion social enterprise is proving to be a win-win for everyone involved, and it can be a winning investment for you too. Please help us to make a lasting difference for countless farmers like Sively by investing in Cup of Compassion in any way that you can, from buying this coffee for your personal use or offering it to your employees or church congregation, to helping with business startup costs. Every bit of help makes a difference. Take advantage of bulk orders and monthly subscription purchasing to make an ongoing commitment to this project. Will you be part of reviving more than just a market? Will you invest into the lives of these farmers and their families? Take this opportunity to be an active participant in a practical and powerful work of compassion, and know that with every sip of your morning coffee, you're helping Compassion Corps to unleash hope on an unprecedented scale.